place.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Let's start over. Welcome to the Taphaven Podcast, episode 54. How's everybody doing? How's the week's going? How's life?
I'm sick.
What?
I have been sick for a week, and
Gosh.
but during the week, no big deal. During the weekend, everything sucks.
Oof.
So I'm recovering, but right now I've got that you can feel it.
It's
like,
coming. It's coming.
The lack of energy and weirdness.
I hate
But
that. There were like
most,
2 weeks out of the last month I was sick, and then I had to go miss a bunch of practices and then fight like right afterwards. And man, you can feel it when you have a bunch of sick weeks.
yeah.
We're shared.
Oh, that was a test.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
test message.
Okay. We're shared.
Yeah, it's a great way to start a long weekend with being sick.
Oof.
So great. That's how it happens.
Oh, that's
How
the
about
worst.
what have y'all been up to?
Nah,
It's been 2 weeks actually.
it has. It has.
Let's see. Am I going?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So I had a job opportunity. I turned it down.
Okay.
It was for a data analyst position that was going to probably work me to the bone and possibly
Oof.
burn me the hell out. I had to do a lot of counseling between people who I could trust their opinion on the situation, and I gave them the details. I got a few people who were like, "No, you should definitely do it," and then a few people who have done either corporate or have a little bit more knowledge of how those teams are supposed to, and they were like, "Run, do not, no, not this."
Yikes.
Definitely a position that you possibly take, not this position though, not the one that they are listing, because from what we're hearing, you can do better. So I did not take the job, and feeling pretty good about it. I am trying to move. I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna do anything corporate at this point. I don't know if I want to move the ladder at this point, because it's not looking too hot out there, guys.
Dude, job
No.
market's crazy.
Was it in
Yeah.
person?
The interview?
No, the was it
Yeah,
remote
was
or?
no, not remote. It was definitely in person the entire time. It was a $5,000 raise. I'd be staying until 2 in the morning
The heck?
for certain projects, depending on whether or not what the demands were.
Yikes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it was definitely something that I thought about for a while, but I was like,
Yeah. We need to get rid of that whole climbing the corporate ladder societal stuff, because it's a trap. The trap is that
Yeah.
everyone gets promoted until they reach a level that they are incompetent. And then they stop getting promoted. They don't get demoted. And then you have them stuck in a position that they can't handle. So you've got all these companies that are like, so what are your goals? How are you going to grow? How do we help you grow? What would you like to achieve? And they're like, well, they don't realize they're pushing you to become unhelpful eventually.
yes.
Eventually, you will reach a point where you just make things worse for the company.
Wow. Dark.
That's just how it works. I mean,
No,
it's
I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm more so saying, yeah, that's very indicative of what I feel my experiences right now. It's okay, let's keep upskilling you.
Mhm.
At a certain point in time, you're not gonna have the skill.
Yeah. I early on got pushed into management, right? And then I tried to get out of it, and then I got to another job, and I wasn't in management, but they're like, oh well, we know that you have management. This is 6 months in, so we always want to manage. Eventually, it's okay, so now I'm management again. I don't want to do it. Eventually, I tried to get out of it. Now I'm finally properly out, because I'm look, I don't think I'm not for that. And if I am for that, it'll be in 10 years when I'm not a child. And it's At one point, I remember the last company, they did have that like, oh, okay, we're gonna start. They have like a whole system with your goals and what you want to achieve and all this stuff. And I straight up said to them, I was like, okay, but what about someone that wants to keep doing what they're doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is wrong with that? What is wrong with a blacksmith staying a blacksmith?
Being a blacksmith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't people do that? Like
Because
it's
that's a trade, and the idea is that if you are a tradesperson, you eventually become a master, but you are the ruler of your own fate at that point. Chances are you have your own clients, you have your own ways of making ends meet. You're not depending on a corporation to have structure for you to either have to take classes to become functional within their workplace at all. You are the workplace. You dictate the flow.
yeah. Now, on a much brighter note, though, guys.
Yeah. What'd you do?
I 3D printed
Ooh,
desk mounts for
That's
my joysticks. So I haven't screwed them in yet, so I can do this right now.
Yeah.
But
That's
But
dope.
dude, you know how much this would cost if you bought one?
like,
Too
Like
250?
if you got like a cheap one, it'd be like maybe $25 on Amazon, maybe 30. I think there might be cheap
Okay.
like mounts on Amazon.
I was expecting a lot more.
But
Oh, I'm
but
sure
this
the
cost
pricey
me
ones
like
are.
Yeah.
I don't know, like $7 or $8 of filament. It was a lot of filament, but
Dude.
$7 or
worth it.
$8 is a lot of filament.
Yeah.
no, this was like 350 to 500 grams of filament. So that's
Oh, okay.
and it's about $15 for 1 kilogram.
Got you.
So this
Yeah.
was half or less. So this was like somewhere around $5 to $7 to print
Gotcha.
it, which is a bargain. You know,
Got you.
I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty cool.
You did okay, man.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
You did
Heck
okay,
yeah.
you know? You're
Eric, what
alright.
have you been up to?
Dude, it's been a whirlwind of a few weeks for sure. I feel like there's been a lot of trips, but the last week especially, obviously we have the new kittens, so it has been cat dad life.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing all that, and then of course we had senior nationals, so went and did judo for nationals.
Now, does this like 64 years old and up?
No.
So it's
This
senior.
is everybody. So senior is 18 and up,
That's me.
essentially. Yeah.
That's like
Veterans is 30 and up.
That sounds like when you get into software development and after a year of work, you become a senior engineer.
Bro, what?
They kind of consider that. So if you're a kid, they obviously have the kid divisions. At some point, they start to do the cadet divisions, which is like teenagers. And then once you hit 18, you start doing the senior divisions. You can do it before based on your weight, but senior allows for 18 plus people to be in it, unlike the cadets, which doesn't. Then once you get 30, you can fight in the veterans. But yeah, this is considered probably there's like 3 really big national level tournaments. This is one of them. So
Where was it?
it was in Alabama this year. So this one moves around because it's a USA Judo event. They do bids for different cities, just like the Olympics and other things like that. So different cities host it every year. And so this year it was in Birmingham, Alabama at the convention center, huge convention center. But it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. And we got to spend a day out in Birmingham, checking everything out. We went to the Civil Rights Museum there, which obviously for anybody who's not caught up on their civil rights movement history, that was one of, if not the last really big holdout in the South for the civil rights. And so a lot of stuff went down there, and there were just a lot of huge events that centered around Birmingham. And so the Civil Rights Museum there is really, really cool. They go into really cool details about all of the different figureheads from MLK to Reverend Shuttle. Oh my gosh, Shuttle. What's
We
his
got you,
name?
fam.
Um,
Shuckcock.
No. It's Shuttlesworth.
Banned on
Absolutely.
YouTube.
That's
Yeah.
that's all it takes.
Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth, who they marched with MLK and all of that. So it's one of the coolest. It's got one of the craziest, impactful beginnings of a tour that I've been on in a museum. So the museum is a giant circle. So you go in, you start in like this huge room, and they're like, "Hey, wait here." A bunch of people group up, and at intervals, they go in and push you into a movie theater, and you watch a little 8-minute movie. And at the end of the 8-minute movie, the last thing you see is the TV commercial that's talking about the different water fountains that you have to use
Yeah.
for the whites and the blacks. And right when that happens, it cuts to black, and the whole wall lifts up, and you're staring at the wall that they used in that commercial with the two different water fountains,
Wow.
because it was in Birmingham. And it's just such a crazy start. And then you go on this huge circular journey going through time, essentially, of all the major events that happened in the Southeast, but centered in Birmingham. And of course, it's right across the street from the famous church that kind of spurred the huge impact of the civil rights movement, where the tragedy happened, where 4 kids were killed in a bombing that happened there. And yeah, it's a crazy historical place. But we got to spend the day there. We took all the kids there, and they got to walk through and learn a lot of that history. And then the next day we went and we did the fights, and then went out to dinner and kind of like headed back. It was a super quick back and forth, but I am sore as crap.
Yep.
My fingers can't close all the way.
What do y'all eat after judo? Do y'all eat like a specific Asian food or anything like that, or
Do you
y'all
know
just eat
you-
random stuff?
I will say the restaurant we went to was absolutely terrible. Me and Josh both were like,
Garbage.
our food is trash.
Oh
Well,
no.
Get this, Eric.
Which sucked.
There's Korean barbecue in our hometown.
Oh, Korean barbecue is so good. Is
My
it good
parents went
Korean
there.
barbecue?
My parents went there. They got chicken.
Oh my
called?
gosh.
They did some white people stuff.
Oh my gosh.
What's it called?
They,
Hurts.
I don't know. But then you'll know where we lived.
But
also,
what? Wait,
if you
they
look it
do
up.
white people stuff. What do you mean they got chicken?
My
That's white
parents said the most white people stuff. They went to Korean barbecue, and the only thing that they ate at the like buffet was chicken.
Oh.
And it
You
was
gotta
it was a
get
walk
the
up buffet
pork
too.
belly.
It wasn't. I know. I told them get some bulgogi.
Wait,
get
so
some pork
so
belly.
wait.
I know.
Wait. So you went to K barbecue.
They did, yes, and they went to a walk up buffet, not the they bring it to you buffet at your.
So they
Table.
bogarted the chicken wings
Yep.
and just took the tray pretty much.
No. I mean, I don't. That's just. She said they ate the chicken.
Anthony,
What did they eat?
what did they eat?
She said it was mostly chicken and rice and japchae.
Japchae?
And then waffles and salad stuff.
Waffles and salad. Okay, so they ate things other than the chicken, though. What? I'm
Yeah.
echoing for somebody.
Uh-oh.
Somebody check their audio. I'm echoing for somebody, or maybe I don't have everybody muted.
You're
on
echoing
my end.
through yourself. Yeah,
I
because
am?
you're not. I mean, you're not highlighting us, so it's something else. Like our green lights
Oh.
aren't popping, and
No.
Yeah.
I have
I
green
don't-
lights here.
I don't hear an echo on mine.
Echo.
that's weird.
You sound good to me.
Let me go ahead and make sure all of these are muted.
Anthony, does he sound good to you?
Yeah, he sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I'm the only one who's getting the echo, I think.
Must be you.
It must be
Now,
me.
but yeah, it's in. Are we allowed to say our hometown? Probably shouldn't.
Probably shouldn't.
You maybe not. Me and Nat could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
Well, it's near the hometown. Anyways, it's at the place that's named after a street. You know, the more
I see.
bougie area. So
Yeah,
everything is whiteified, I would say.
Why the
They still have Korean barbecue. They have bibimbap. They have hot stone pot. Like they have the proper tables where it gets cooked at your table and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
But it sounds like I've never heard of Korean barbecue having like a walk-up buffet that you.
I have.
Yeah,
Really?
I've
Yeah.
been to some places that did that. So
Okay, so maybe it's normal. I don't know.
yeah, I would say 678 is like a great example of an edge case of KBBQ. Honestly,
KBBQ.
I don't like when they won't let you cook your own meat in front of yourself. When they like make someone do it for you. I feel like that's weird.
see,
Oh, that's
I like
embarrassing.
it when people cook it for me. I like to
Yeah,
relax. I
yeah,
like
but,
to
like,
sit there and just
they
be
go
like,
to
tell me
hibachi.
when it's done.
Right. Like it's a weird situation because you've got it in between you guys, like in the middle of your table, and now you've got the server reaching over everybody to try to cook it. It's like positioned for you to cook it.
But
It's
they
like
know how to
fondue.
cook it better. They just
supposed to be
they
like
just
fondue.
do it better. I love it. I love it.
It's not that hard. You put it
It's
on the meat, you flip
disgusting.
it over, and then you eat it.
Like it.
Look, it
not
isn't.
that
It
hard.
isn't that hard. I am okay with not doing it. I'm like, nah.
Eric, you need more Asian friends, okay? If you go with Hung, he'll do it for you every time.
Here's the
He
thing.
always
I've
just
done
like,
it before.
No.
I don't have a problem
No.
doing it. I want to go pay my money and get pampered.
Okay, so what are we drinking today, Princess?
Yeah,
Eric?
let's
Okay.
go ahead and tell us
Okay.
what we need to actually drink, Eric.
So today we are
Yeah.
doing
Wow.
a blended bourbon whiskey. It is the Willem and Green triple cask blended bourbon whiskey.
You just
So-
said a lot of words. Hold on one second.
So
Let me
triple
play-
cask, that's got to mean it's like 3 times than everyone else, right?
times
It's like a huge barrel, like a
the biggest.
jacuzzi barrel.
So
right?
usually that means that they're taking, or it's been through 3 different casks. So let's read a little bit. Here's what the Flaviar has to say about it. Crafted with the spirit of innovation and tradition, Milliman Green Triple Cask Straight Bourbon Whiskey is a premium expression of dedication, expertise. This exquisite bourbon harmonizes the essence of Texas, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Each bottle hosts a meticulously selected combination of 3 to 4 year old Texas bourbon for a vibrant spice, 3 to 5 year old Kentucky bourbon for its lush vanilla and fruity undertones, and a seasoned Tennessee bourbon for
Seasoned,
a
so like a month.
robust structure. Yeah, we don't know. It doesn't say here. Proof to perfection, bottled at 94 proof on site. The award-winning Macmillan and Green is a refined choice for discerning palates. So we should be getting some
Okay,
vanilla, floral, spicy, creamy, smooth, warm, lingering, soft, silky, and only 2 of those were actual tastes, and the rest of them were feelings.
To be fair, though, I just sniffed the.
I haven't even poured mine yet, so I'm about to do my pour.
So what we have here is marketing at its worst, because
At its worst.
they are trying to coin this new thing, triple cask, to make you think that this is something special, like it went through 3 barrels or something.
That's what I would think.
Right, but
Well,
it's not that at all, because you could call like almost every Bardstown you have a triple cask, a quadruple cask. It's
Yeah.
just 3
A quad
blends.
cask.
Yes, it is just
Each
3
was in
blends.
1 cask, like normal. There's no triple cask.
There are 3.
There's just
barrels
3
of the
different
same-
whiskeys
It's just a
being
blended
blended.
whiskey, guys.
Just a blended whiskey. Triple cask has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So
It's
they're
pretty.
off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, we got a nice amber color on this whiskey. It's a medium viscosity. It's not super oily, but it leaves some nice tails.
It's very.
We got
smells
some
very
like
sweet.
cream floral vanilla on the nose.
Very floral. It's like a
Yeah.
rye.
I could see that. It has like rye florality to it. Okay.
It's a lot of that vanilla on the top.
Yeah, I get like a creamy floral vanilla
Yeah.
bouquet, you know?
It's definitely not very it's very welcoming.
Yeah, it's
definitely-
kind of nice on the nose.
It's led us into the domicile without,
I
shooting us in the
imagine if
foot.
you were to make a bouquet at the florist and just shove vanilla in between all of the flowers, you would have the smell of this whiskey.
Miffy poop somewhere.
Bad girl.
Oh no.
You heard that? Yeah, Miffy
Yeah.
poop somewhere.
Oh no.
Smell's not really changing for me, but
Yeah.
also I'm sick, so this is the first time I've been able to breathe through both noses.
Cheers, friends.
my guys, to another episode.
Episode 54.
Wow. This might be the spiciest, like red hot candy whiskey I think we've had.
Oh,
Like I get red hots, like spicy red hots.
it's like a candy.
It does taste like a candy. It honestly, I get red hot, like the candy red hot. Almost 100%.
I haven't had candy in 15 years, so I can't really attest to that, but it is spicy.
It is spicy.
It's not
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's spicy. It's not powerful.
No.
It's all spice, not
Yeah.
no kick.
Yeah. 100%. I would say for me, this is a red hot whiskey. It tastes like the candied red hots. And it's very distinctive. Which is crazy. It's got like cinnamon pepperiness to it with vanilla and like that sucro, like the sucralose, like sugar.
Boo. Sorry, it's already open, so you might want to double check that.
But there's nothing crazy bad about it. It's very much a candy dessert whiskey.
It's a crispy candy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to get my wife to try it in order to find out if it's candy.
Tell her that it tastes like red hots. Give her that and see if she agrees.
If you guys are hearing sniffs, it's me. Baby girl, this is what you wanted.
But
Okay,
yeah, that is,
sweet baby.
it's not a bad whiskey. Let's see. Do I get fruity undertones? Additionally, do I get creamy, lingering, warm, soft, and silky, or smooth as a flavor that I should be tasting? Because that's what Flaviar has decided to put on their tasting sheet.
Flavors,
gosh.
no. Experiences, yes. I
So
would
I
say
think-
this is very smooth.
Okay. Well, so for the spicy, I don't see it as spicy at all. I see it as lightly peppery.
Lightly peppery.
It's
I
like
think that's where
it's-
they're going with spicy. I'm not saying
I didn't want
That
it
isn't
to
the
like
case,
be,
but-
like I'm not gonna expect a California Reaper coming out of this
yeah.
whiskey. I think it's more so spicy in the sense that like you get a lot of the spice herb
Yes.
off of it rather than like heat.
Yes.
Like that flavor profile of like black pepper, cayenne,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Does that make
Yeah.
sense, Sarah?
Yes.
Anthony?
But not capsaicin.
No.
But it has a little tingliness to it, similar. Again, I am stuck on the red hot. My mind is convinced that this is like drinking a glass of concentrated red hot.
It's definitely the floral. Like it almost gives me the vibe of a Japanese whiskey.
Really? I don't.
The
Well,
very top.
I guess
very
for me, I think more about the Mizuno White Oak.
top. Well, that's
Like,
also like you have
I'm
to
not
also
getting
take
any
into
of the
account-
White
yes.
Oak type of thing.
You're not gonna get. I'm saying more so in terms of like
The
the
floral note.
pronouncement of the floral note.
Ash
'Cause-
senses the red hot. So we have our first ever viewer that is tasting at the same time as us.
Yes.
For those of you that do not know, we now have an event schedule
We do.
of sorts on
I
our
need-
Discord.
I need to get a
Ash, I
soundboard
need
so I can
some
make
mod
noises.
magic here. You're a mod. You're powerful. I need a exclamation point Discord command.
Wait.
I do that through Stream Elements on mine.
You should be able to just do it through Twitch.
Really?
Yeah, it
would
is
be
very
cool.
cinnamony. Very cinnamony.
Very cinnamony. Good.
I get that too, which is a prevalent flavor in Red Hot.
Interesting. Okay. Honestly, I
Yeah.
don't mind that it doesn't kick.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of kick. It's not super acetone or alcohol forward, which I think is fine for this whiskey. With that, Nat, do you already have a rating? Do you already have a good idea of where you're at for this whiskey?
This is a solid 4.
Solid 4. Daily drinker?
I daily drink this, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, for my tastes, no. For like anybody else who are like who is interested in like drinking a whiskey that has like a nuance to it, yes. So I wouldn't say daily drinker for me. Like if I had a man, if I really wanted to bridge the gap between like those more thinner body whiskeys and I wanted to get into something a little bit more spicy, yeah, I'd do this.
I didn't know it said cheers and smooches.
The-
Cheers and
What-
smooches.
Cheers and smooches.
How can y'all hear this?
You didn't mute.
You didn't mute at all.
I did.
Oh.
I'm not coming through VDO. How am I coming through OBS for you guys?
You went through VDO.
No, it wasn't lighting. Oh, son of a.
It did.
Are
It went
you
through
the one
VDO.
who's giving the? I knew it. It wasn't me. I knew it wasn't me.
How am I coming through VDO if I'm muted? All right.
You
Well, since
got
the cat's out of the bag, I'm sorry. I was looking at my bullet that my wife got me
Aw, and the
that says
sticker
Boardman's bottle.
Nice.
It's been like a year or so now, and I never noticed that at the top it says cheers and smooches. So.
Oh, that's nice.
And
That's
she's sitting
adorable.
over there, so I had to say thank you.
Aw.
Uh,
Let me see.
Okay,
So,
So Nat,
am
what
I
would you
screwing
pay for
y'all?
this bottle?
are you screwing the bottle?
The audio.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I'm still echoing, but I don't know what it is. I'll figure it out later.
It might be the shared chat window.
Oh, did you mute the shared chat?
Pretty sure I did. Hold on, let me see.
Ruh-roh, Shaggy.
Oh.
No,
Oh.
he didn't.
Oh man, it only mutes me to my stream mix.
Oh. Wait, hold on. Echo. Can I hear myself? Yeah, I can still hear myself.
Didn't fix it.
Damn.
Well, Nat,
Damn.
what would you pay for this whiskey?
I would pay.
Can y'all hear me now? Am I talking
Yeah.
to you guys?
Yeah. I
Damn
can
it!
still hear you. I'd pay $40 for this.
$40. Okay.
Yeah. This is a solid whiskey though.
Yeah.
If they charged for more, I'd probably still get it like maybe like 50 or 60, but I would love to see it in 40. But yeah, no, this is fantastic. I love this. This was fun.
Anthony.
Oh, and also to back your sticker thing up, my wife did buy a bottle of like
Aw.
1791 like on
Oh.
the day of our elopement, and I still have the sticker for like the actual day.
That's
and
pretty
everything.
dope.
That's really cool. I hear myself.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it says "Cheers to forever, Mahal Kita."
Oh.
My wife's
Nice.
super sweet. Okay, continue.
Anthony, what would you rate this whiskey?
Well, once I can stop hearing okay. There was too much delay. I could hear myself and I couldn't speak.
Oh no.
He's trying his best, guys.
I'm so sorry, y'all. This whiskey is meh.
Meh.
So
Meh.
definitely a 2. It is meh.
Oh.
Um,
2. Oh.
you might think that he's sick. He can't smell. That's why. But guess what? I have bullet bourbon right here, and I can smell it just as well as I can smell that, and taste it just as well as I can taste that, and the bullet better.
Hmm.
To me, at least. Like this whiskey had that floral note, and it still smells like a normal sweet whiskey. But then when you taste it, it's just a light pepperiness. There's no the viscosity is really low, so don't really care for that. Don't get the smoothness. Like if smooth equals it goes down easy, I don't think that's smooth. To me, that's not what smooth is. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just a light pepperiness happening in the mouth and nothing else. So boring to me.
Okay.
Okay.
A bit dull.
A
A bit
bit dull,
dull.
mate.
Mm-hmm.
A bit dull.
I mean, I'm being harsh. Maybe
I
not.
think you. I think you're being harsh.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to set the vertical stream to public.
Okay.
Okay, now we're
I want-
live on YouTube.
I want everybody to stop talking. I'm going to talk, and I'm going to see who's it's coming out of. It's coming out of everybody. If I talk, of both of you. If I'm talking right now and I'm looking at your little bars and they're bouncing when I talk
in the control room. Where are you
in the
looking?
control room,
I do not see this.
I'm losing my freaking mind.
Yeah.
We come out of both for you in the control room.
When I talk, I hear myself through both of you.
Mm.
Weird.
When you talk, you only come through Nat for me.
Yeah, same.
Weird. Stupid. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Now I don't know. Now I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna keep looking. Whatever. It's fine.
So, Anthony, what would you pay for this whiskey?
I mean, I could pay $10.
$10. Okay.
I just don't like
Okay.
it. I don't want it.
For me, I think this sits very comfortably at a 3.5. I think this sits at a spot where it is definitely a drinkable whiskey. It's got its fun moments. I definitely see a spot for it, but it's not quite into my flavor palette of like what I would go about drinking on a daily basis. But it's close. It's fun. I would definitely pick up a bottle of this. I could see myself drinking it. So
Okay.
would I daily drink it? Probably not, but I'd totally pick up a glass of this every now and then, which puts it right at a 3.5 for me. I think price-wise, I would love. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Look at that vertical YouTube. Heck
It
yeah.
works.
Welcome.
Okay. Sick.
That's pretty cool. Sorry. Just had to try
We
it out.
made it.
And that means we should also pop up on people's shorts feed sometimes.
I was trying to do it that way first. It just kept giving me like the same sort of stuff.
So,
Very cool.
what would I like to see price-wise? I'd really like to see this in the $30 range, which is wonderful because you can find this for right around $39.99. So this is a $40 whiskey, essentially, which I don't feel is that bad. It's kind of unique. It's not trying to overtake one of the dominant flavor profiles.
Yeah.
It's trying to be something that's very different, in my opinion. It's a candy dessert whiskey, in my opinion. And it doesn't fit every flavor profile, niche, or palate. So it's going to be one of those divisive whiskeys where the people that like the flavor profile, you won't find this very often. Yeah, spicy cocktails, holiday parties, that is the time to kind of like enjoy this whiskey. I agree. If you ate Red Hots a lot while you were watching movies, this could be a great movie whiskey.
Speaking of movies, you reminded me earlier. Have y'all seen Mission Impossible 7? Do y'all like the Mission Impossibles?
I do. Which one is 7 the newest one?
Depends on your definition of newest.
Does it the one with
the
Henry
one with the
Cavill?
motorcycle. No, that one was great. I think that was actually MI5.
That's 2 movies ago.
2 movies ago.
Have you not seen MI6?
So I gotta remind myself.
MI6
I
is
don't
really
know.
good.
What is MI6 is the one with Henry Cavill.
Oh, that's MI5.
No, that's MI5.
I'm literally looking at Henry Cavill on the MI6 trailer poster.
Oh, then MI4 is the one that's fucking gas.
Yeah,
MI4 is gas.
MI6
Yeah.
is with Henry Cavill. I'm looking at the IMDb.
Like no smoke on Henry Cavill. It's just like the 4th one was really good. 5th one was like,
Well, I think they were both pretty similar in ratings.
But y'all haven't seen Mission Impossible 7.
But y'all ain't seen Mission Impossible.
Is this girl in 6 too? Is Vanessa Kirby in both of them? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know that I've seen 7 yet. I think the last one I saw might have been the Henry Cavill one.
Well, you can watch 7 on, I think, probably Prime right now. Yeah. I probably shouldn't say anything about it.
Is it
Probably
good?
shouldn't.
I do like the Mission Impossible films.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I have not seen. I'm looking at some of the trailer sequences. I have not seen 7.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
The crazy stunt he does in 7 is driving a motorcycle off of a cliff.
Yes, I have seen that particular scene because I've seen like all the craziness from him doing it. That's still not as crazy as in 6 when he broke his freaking foot, though. That stuff is crazy.
Yeah, that sucks.
He's a madman.
Yeah, him doing his own stunts is crazy.
At his age too, it's crazy.
Yeah, how old is he now? He's got to be like
It's like
60?
late 50s, I think.
No, he's 60 something.
Let's
He's
see.
dang, he's like super old.
Let's see. How old is he? He is 62.
Whoa! So I was close. Okay, late 50s,
Yeah.
early 60s.
He is 62. That is wild. That
Dude's
is
been-
wild.
Dude is hanging on to airplanes as they take off. And he's like, man, I really got to get my colon checked out. Or something like that, you know.
He's just hanging on.
Boys, this was a good one. But now that we've closed it out, let's go ahead and beat this along the trail. What have we been playing?
What have we been playing? Oh, I do have a new game because I do have a new game that it just came out. There are a bunch of games that I want to play that I have not been able to do because of getting prepped for nationals and a few other things. So I will not be able to talk much on Claire Obscure this week.
Oof.
I did not get around to playing
fine.
Doom or V Rising, unfortunately, although they are both on my list.
Oof.
But I wanted something that I could do like some quick games at. And it just came out the other day, and I knew I was going to play it, so I downloaded it, and I got a few little runs off on it, and that is Monster Train 2. Did either of you play the original Monster Train?
I watched it. I did not
You
play
watched it?
it.
So,
I watched like somebody try it out, I think.
Monster Train is a really cool deck building, roguelike card deck builder, similar to something like Slay the Spire, where over the course you choose different paths and you have to do fight boss monsters and all this kind of stuff, similar to Faster Than Light or something like that, but you get to choose different branching pathways and you get to build your deck as you go along. And I really love deck builders and they're a lot of fun. So I played the original Monster Train, and I thought it was one of the most innovative versions of a roguelike deck builder. And so far, Monster Train 2 is just it with quadruple the cards. They were literally
Quadruple?
like, yeah, it's like crazy the amount of stuff that they added. They were just like, we're going to release essentially the same game, but you know how the first game had like 200 cards? We're just going to take all of those. You already love them. And we're going to add like 1,200 cards to them and make like 500 new enemy units. And just there you go. Like, do you like that? Is that cool? And
Do
so
you
far,
like that?
yeah, it's just really cool. And for
Gross.
those who haven't played Monster Train, picture something like Slay the Spire, except that you have different levels.
Layers. Damn.
So you get to place monsters and units on different levels that you want. So you have this whole strategy of where the enemies will attack, and after they attack, they move up a level. And you have a giant boss on the top level, and if they kill that boss, you lose the run. But it's really innovative. It feels really different. It has really cool deck building aspects to it because you can build a deck around the different levels in your train. You can be like, oh, I'm always going to place my dragon on level 2 because he has this ability and I'm going to use these cards on him. But then I'm going to have this guy who has multi-strike on the back line of level 1, and I'm going to keep buffing him. So once they get to level 2, they have to beat a beefy dragon who's going to take him down. But the first level is going to multi-strike, just sacrifice everything to try and kill everything. And it's got all these different aspects to it that other deck builders just don't have. It literally just adds a whole new layer on top of every other deck builder that's out there. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun so far. I will say it is the original. So if you played the first Monster Hunter or Monster Train,
You're playing
like,
the second one. Ready.
yeah, you're going to love the second one. But if you didn't like the first Monster Train, there's nothing crazy different here. They just did more of the awesomeness from the first game better. So take with it what you will, but I tried that out. It was super fun. Outside of that, I've really only been able to do some off-stream Morrowind Oblivion. Still enjoying that. The remaster is great.
Sick.
It's been really good. What have y'all been playing?
Anthony, you want to go first? Mine's short, but pretty sweet.
Well, before I do, y'all like National Treasure style movies, right? Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I loved. At one point in my life, I had the entirety of National Treasure memorized. I could recite it off of memory.
Wow.
The
Okay.
boy.
Well, and
man, the
I
myth,
think you
legend.
will enjoy this new movie called Fountain of Youth. It's an
Fountain
Apple
of
TV
Youth.
movie,
Oh.
so it's already available on there. And it's John Krasinski and Natalie Portman. And
Oh, okay.
we just watched it last night, and it's exactly what you'd want. You know,
Okay.
It's
if
everything you
National
want.
Treasure is a style of movie, you know, like what do you call those other ones? Indiana Jones, and
Yeah.
Da Vinci Code. Like it is that style of movie precisely.
Okay.
And
I did love National Treasure, and I do love John Krasinski and Natalie Portman, so I'm in.
it was very fun. Highly recommend. What have I been playing? I probably played a bit of V Rising, but ever since our power went out, I haven't booted back up the server, and Ash hasn't asked to play. So,
Aww.
so I haven't done that since the power went out a while ago. But I did want to mention that I did finally run into something new in V Rising called the Treasure Room.
Treasure room.
If you put the treasure flooring in a room, then every single thing in that room that is a container is now available for the entire castle.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, so you
That's
go
so
to
good.
craft something.
Oh,
It's
and it's
all
just
there.
there.
You no longer have to run to a room,
What a
get
smart
stuff,
way to
and
do
bring it
that.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and remember, we would always have a treasure room anyways. You'd walk in,
Yeah.
boom, there's the treasure room, drop everything off, and then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, now I got to craft. Okay, now,
I
okay,
need-
let's
where-
go to
where
the
do I go
treasure
with that? Yeah,
room,
yeah,
bring
yeah.
it to the room where we're crafting. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to walk it all the way back, so let's make another container in this room.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to worry about that at all. You just
That helps so much
Awesome
with like
treasure room.
PvP too, where they have the multi-layer and the treasure room is usually on the highest layer in the
Yeah.
center through the most maze-like structure. And it was a nightmare to deal with like getting stuff to and from that room.
yeah.
So now they probably don't even have to worry about it, which is great.
Yeah, so that's a
Sick, mate.
insane quality of life improvement.
Nice.
Absolutely enjoy it. I think other than that, I've just finally been playing Star Citizen again.
Good for you,
And
man.
It's been really great, especially with these new flight controller mounts or whatever, flight stick mounts.
Mhm.
And catch this.
Catch it.
So I can't remember if I talked to y'all much about the Polaris, and it's like a capital ship known as a Corvette. It's big. I don't know if y'all got to
One of
be
the
on it
biggest
or
ships
see
in
it.
the game. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Oh.
A big one is now available called the Idris.
The Idris.
So if you can imagine, the Polaris had like a hangar that's comes from above it, right? So you could land a ship on it, right? The Idris has a hangar that is a pass-through. So it has
Ooh.
a rear opening and a front opening, and it looks like a hammerhead shark. Or not a hammerhead shark. It's actually a ship called the Hammerhead. It looks like a very intimidating shark. Like
Just to give Nat like the sense of scale here, the Idris is 2.5 football fields long and 1.5 football fields wide.
yeah, dude. In game, it takes like minutes to run from the front to the back of the ship.
I'm looking at images.
It is so cool, dude, because
She's a big girl.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
an aircraft carrier, really. Like it
Yeah.
is literally it's supposed to be the main ship in 42. Now, originally they were like, we're not going to release this before Squadron 42. We don't want to spoil Squadron 42. But internally, now they've realized, okay, the Squadron 42 version of this ship is different from what we've got available that we can give them now. So we're not going to be spoiling anything. Like there might be some similarities, but like it's going to be a different ship.
it looks like a battleship.
It is, dude. And I mean, it has so many turrets. It has a hangar below its hangar for a little cargo ship, the Argo, whatever. And it's been so much fun lately to board it and take it over. So what you do is you take a small sneaky ship or even a small hover bike that has like a shotgun, like a big shotgun on the front, a vehicle-sized shotgun.
So you can punch a hole in the hull to get in.
Yes, because
Yeah.
because it's a ballistic instead of an energy weapon. Energy weapons get fully blocked by a shield, but ballistics only get half blocked. So you get behind these ships while they're doing whatever they're doing, and you shoot at the hangar door. When you do enough damage, honestly, it doesn't take that long. It opens. Did I freeze?
Yes, you did.
You did.
Okay, that might just be. I think I can fix that. I think that's just my camera. Yeah. So, anyways, when you shoot open the door, it opens, of course, and then you have a really big opening to squeeze into. Right. So it's really not that hard to pilot your way in, and then now you've boarded their ship. Now get this. There are fuses all over the place in panels, right? Because engineering gameplay is coming, and that's going to be one of the things where fuses get blown. Well, right now, if you pull those fuses, things start to turn off.
Wow, that's fucked. So you're just turning off the ship as you go through.
Yeah, you get on, you start going, and you start taking all the fuses out. Then you want to go and hide them somewhere, like their briefing room or something.
You're a terrible
You take them all
person.
out in case they kill you. And even more, if you can make it to their med bay, you can set your respawn on their ship. Now, they can reset it to get you off, but that would reset everybody at the same time. So if you're not by yourself, if they reset it and they start getting killed, it's just, dude, it is so much fun to steal this $2,000 ship.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's the funniest thing to me. Like I go on the Star Citizen Reddit all the, and constantly there's people complaining about, oh my god, why are they selling a ship that costs this much? Oh my god, why are they selling these? There's this new thing called Blades, which is like a computer upgrade for your ship, and it will slightly improve your top speed or slightly improve your maneuverability. It's a brand new thing, right? Costs like a few bucks. And people are like, oh god, I hate this. Why would they do this? This is so pay to win. This is so weird. And I responded, I was like, yeah, why are they adding all this stuff that I can steal for free from people that pay money for it? God, that sucks. I'm so tired of them adding new content for me for free.
Oh no.
Because I mean,
What am I
it's
gonna
so
do with
cool.
all these free things that I stole?
Right.
Hmm.
And I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah.
You're a bad
It's so
person.
much fun.
You're a bad person. You're a bad person. In video games, let me clarify. In video games, you are a bad person.
I think the ship, it might have at one point cost $1,500, but I'm pretty sure the version that people were trying to purchase right now is $1,900. Yeah.
Wait.
If you want to buy it with real money, yeah.
Wait.
Hey, it's expensive.
Now, I
man.
will remind everybody, all ships.
You
Will
didn't
be-
wait. You didn't wait, Anthony. I asked you to wait, and you just kept talking like this was normal.
All right, I'm waiting.
People spend $1,500 on a ship in this game.
1900.
$1,900.
Yeah, yeah.
People spend $1,900 on a ship in this game.
Somebody is.
They do.
Somebody is.
A lot of people. Now, get this.
And this game is not
they
done.
I mean, it's not done, and it does have bugs that have been vastly improved, but
I'm not-
I argue that it's better than a lot of games that are done.
Right. I'm more so
So-
saying in a sense that like it's more a category of the game is not finished and people are spend like $1,500 to $2,000
Mhm.
on items in the game
Yeah.
more so than the quality of the game.
Mhm.
That's obscene, Anthony.
No, I mean, how are you in the game? How are you gonna pay for it?
I guess.
Somebody has to pay for it. And if you want it to be private parties like Activision or Blizzard or someone that's rich, then you can't have the game that is coming out because they will just neuter it like they do modern games. It's just crowdfunding. And there's people that have the money for that, and it's no big deal to them.
Yeah.
Like, think about
They
it
wanna
this
pay
way.
for it.
Think about it
I
this way,
dropped
Nat.
$2,000 on a ship, and there are
Nat.
people like Hippotech who play the game
Nat,
and just steal your shit for fun or blow it up for fun.
Nat, there are people that spend $200 a week going to the bar on Friday. That's $800 a month. In less than 3 months, if this is your main hobby, 3
an
months, that's $2,400. So most people will be like, oh yeah, spending $2,400 over 3 months on going out to the bar is okay. But spending less than that on a video game is not okay.
I hate
And
that you did the math for this.
It just think about it that way. It's a hobby.
I know,
And it's not weird if you look at it that way. It's weird because you're used to, a game cost $60. A game costs $40. Game costs $80, right? And it's the weird thing is you're not even actually buying the game. You're buying permission to play the game. And in this case, it's like you have already bought permission to play the game, but you are trying to make the game happen.
Wow.
Like you're trying to fund it. You are trying to make the project
You're
actually
You're
finish.
trying to finish it by throwing money at the problem. Oh my god.
Yeah. Now, like if you think about it this way, perhaps after Star Citizen and Squadron 42 come out successfully, perhaps they can actually make other games without having to crowdfund it. If they have enough income from pre-existing Star Citizen Squadron 42.
Big if there.
Now, I think they'll just forever develop Star Citizen. I don't think I mean, maybe they'd come
Yeah.
out with Squadron 43
Yeah.
or something.
I think
like
they'll
that,
have.
right?
They still have so much that like needs
That
to be
game's never going to be done. It's going to be
for-
like
yeah,
World of Warcraft.
yeah,
It's forever,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just gonna.
which is
Yeah.
what most of us want. We don't want
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
World of Warcraft 2. We want better World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Like,
Although at this
Appar-
point, I do have to say that that leads to an interesting conundrum though, because you do hope that it doesn't turn out like World of Warcraft, where the vision and direction separated so far from what people wanted
Bro.
that people now want World of Warcraft 2, not because they don't want just a better World of Warcraft, but because the vision and direction in World of Warcraft is so separate from what people want now
They
that
just
they
want
would
to
have to
reset.
reset and redo
Yeah.
a new game to be able to get somewhere even close.
Because it's just so far left field.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I mean, like, it's not fair to the developers. It's a good game. It's just not the game that people want to play
Yeah.
when they think about World of Warcraft.
I
like,
do
your
think
housing
it's
is
in
out?
a. I do think it's
Is
in.
it out?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's out, but I know that
It's
Taliesin
in
and
the-
Evertel got to try it.
yeah, it's in the public test, I think.
Wow.
So
I
I
don't know
do
anything
think
about
that World of Warcraft still is in one of the best states it's been in. I think the biggest problem is
I think it's
that
fading fast.
I still think the gameplay actually is in one of the best states
I'm
it's
not
ever
saying
been in.
gameplay. I'm more so saying like the reputation of the game.
I think okay, that could be fair. But I do think that the reward for effort is still at a really bad place in one of the worst places it's been in. The gameplay is back to being where I would want it to be. But the reward for your effort that you put in still feels really bad. So like if you
Yeah.
put in 60 hours into the game, it doesn't feel like you earned 60 hours worth of effort.
Resources or effort.
So-
yeah.
But in Classic and Burning Crusade and even Lich King to a large degree, you put in 60 hours and you felt 60 hours out of it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen anymore.
So you reminded me because I was told to wait and I forgot about it. Speaking of effort, in Star Citizen, the Polaris, the second biggest ship now, was
Okay.
$1,000 real life money, right? You can already earn it in game. You can't buy it in game.
But you can
I don't know
earn
if you'll
it,
ever be
yeah.
able to buy it in game. I know you should always be able to craft certain things, but when it comes to these really big military ships, they're trying to make it not as easy to acquire. So right now you have to go through a decent grind of sorts of turning in favors to this alien dude and eventually like crafting through him the
Mm.
Polaris. So I don't know. I just think that's pretty neat that they already have something rewarding for your efforts like you're talking about with WoW, where it's like that is the legendary item, right? It's like, look, I paid $40 to play this game, which by the way, yeah, you can play Star Citizen for. And
Great.
now I have a ship that all these silly people paid $1,000 for.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And it's like, that's nice.
Sucks to your ass, Mar.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah.
So,
Dark.
totally
Mhm.
separate topic
Mm.
because I feel like it's worth talking about.
Okay.
I have not seen the finale of The Last of Us Season 2. But
The finale's out?
Is it done?
the finale is out.
The last
as
of Us
of last
finale is
night?
out.
Yeah, last night was the finale if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I
So-
saw the finale.
played
That was
the game.
episode 3, right?
So, Anthony has now he's totally off the train.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Nat, have you
No,
seen the finale?
Dude, no.
So
I stopped watching after
when
that. I
did
talked
you-
to Captain for Ellie. Sorry, for Abby.
Oh, so you haven't seen you saw the finale of
No,
season 1.
I saw everything. I stopped after I felt as if the director and whoever was writing for the show showed that they did not know what they were doing with the message for the show.
Oh yeah.
So Anthony, because
Yeah.
now we have seen kind of where we're going.
Yeah.
And now we have seen, because here's the thing. The Last of Us Part 1, Last of Us Part 2. To kind of go through this, because Anthony probably will, it kind of knows all this. This isn't spoiler-esque stuff. But obviously, our main guy from Part 1, gone, dies, gets killed.
But then he comes back.
Well, he comes back for cameos and flashbacks, obviously, but
Okay.
he doesn't come back permanently.
I will
ever.
say that for some reason it was on and I happened to be in the room. Okay. So I might have seen a few more episodes.
Okay.
Because my
Either
wife-
way,
But I just don't understand why we couldn't have started with the flashbacks.
so there are some
literally.
reasons for that aren't
It's
done
just
well.
like-
I'm just going to say
Episode 1. Let's start with year
Episode-
1. Year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. You could have done that.
there was a
ahead
reason
and get
they
another
didn't
drink.
do that in the games, but the show doesn't do a good job of dictating that.
No, it does not.
Here's the problem that we have now run into. In the games, you have a first part of Last of Us where you go through, she gets in, and Joel does the event, kills everybody, and makes the
event.
choice.
Yeah.
He makes his big choice, right?
Ooh. Before you move on, director came out and said that if he had let Ellie stay and he hadn't killed the entire hospital, they would have discovered the cure.
That wasn't the director either. That wasn't the director of the show,
wasn't?
just to be clear.
No,
that was the
game
co-director of the game.
Yeah.
Came out and said that is the case, which
Yeah.
I do think is fine for the game. Because I think Joel having that choice is really interesting, and I think it plays into what the game's trying to tell. Then you have the time skip,
Yep.
and then Joel dies.
Yep.
And that's all within like the first opening cinematic, essentially, of the second part of the game, because the second part of the game is no longer Joel's choice. It is Ellie's choice.
It is
And
Ellie's
what
choice
she
is.
chooses to do. Yes, going forward. And in the game, those are done brilliantly. And the storytelling is done really well. Because Ellie is done really well in part 2 of the game.
Yes.
And I think somebody really did it, that like said exactly how I think about it in the show. In the game, you have a child Ellie in part 1 that is jovial, that you fall in love with as a child.
Correct.
In part 2, you have a broken young adult woman like coming into her own.
Yeah.
But in the show,
you witness a darker form of adolescence.
yes. But in the show, you still have a child jovial Ellie.
Yeah.
And Ellie can't
Yeah, they're
carry
like-
the show.
They're like, "Oh, hey, so she was 12. Now she's 17." And you're like, "You mean 13?" Because
Well, it's
she
even-
looks
it's-
like she's the same.
Yeah. It's even worse
doesn't
too
look any
because
different.
it's supposed to be like 14 to 19.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's essentially supposed to be,
On the cusp of becoming like full adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And the problem that you have,
They changed it to 12 to 17. in the show.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
What's the freaking point? No, I know so. Because I remember
Yeah.
in the episode, it was like her 7th
Yeah.
birthday.
Then that's with that being the case. Yeah, they did it because the actress doesn't look that different. Right?
Yeah. They don't have the Harry Potter effect.
I now am convinced that they should have done the Game of Thrones decision, even though it was jarring in Game of Thrones.
To recast her.
They should have recasted her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. If you want to do a
Yeah.
5-year time skip,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to. She looks like a child.
It allows-
how old is that actress?
It's such a
I think
hard
she's-
choice to make because the actress who did Ellie in the first act captured quintessentially what Ellie is within the
Yeah, she
first
did great.
game. She
Here's
does a great
the problem.
job.
She plays.
She's
the
21.
She plays the child.
She
plays
plays the child
yeah.
version of Ellie very well.
Yeah.
The
She
problem
not the
is
adult
she
version of Ellie.
doesn't play the adult. She doesn't play the broken adult version of Ellie well at
No.
all.
Can we talk about the weirdly excessive amount of guitar song moments?
That's part of the game.
Yeah, but
Dude,
here's the
we
thing:
go
they
from
lean
having-
into it far
The
more
first
in
one
the
was
show.
amazing. The show.
Well, but
Second
also,
one was weird. Third one was weird. They were
The-
too often.
Go ahead, Eric.
so
Sorry.
in the
Yeah,
game,
no, you're good. You're good.
You have hours.
Yeah.
Hours of content in
In
between
between.
those huge moments. And here's the thing.
The show's like 15 minutes.
It's only 2.
Yeah.
Isn't it only 2, Eric? It's like
No,
sorry,
they-
3.
They have three.
Guitar
Yeah.
moments?
Not including
It's 3.
the fourth and final one where it doesn't actually result in guitar playing. Just for
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
There were two in a
Wait, there's 4 of that?
There's 4 total guitar moments in the game.
Joel. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
in the
okay.
show,
total.
there's like 2 in a row. There in one episode.
Exactly.
There's a
And
really,
those-
really good one, and then like 15 minutes later, there's not a good one, and you're just like, "What? Wait, we literally just did this. Why are we doing this again?"
The problem with that, Anthony, is that in the game, those guitar moments are some of the most impactful, important pieces
They're
of
like
storytelling
bookmarks.
in the game. They're bookmarks in the game.
Yeah.
But they're hours apart in gameplay. You got to remember, this is a 40-hour game, essentially. And
So it
these
should at least be an
come
episode apart.
at like, but the
Yes.
problem is they're trying to tell 20 hours of gameplay in one season and 20 hours of gameplay in the second season. And all the guitar moments happen in like hour 5, hour 12, hour
Eric,
20.
Eric.
And then there's a final one at the very, very end that is the climax of this entire decision story that hits you so hard in the game. But the problem is that is all within 8 episodes. And honestly, within 2
I think
episodes.
They still could have done it though. I still
Well,
think they could have done
They
it.
have, Nat, they have so much they have to
I
cover.
know. No, I'm saying
they-
that
but that's
if
what's
they
the
wanted to, if they wanted to do
mistake.
canon, if they wanted to do canon, I
You shouldn't
get,
do canon.
yes,
You
you
shouldn't
can't,
do
you
canon.
can't fit it. But if you wanted to go ahead and still have that bookmark moment where like two very distinct, very different people are now attempting to play guitar,
Yeah.
because that's pretty much what that's supposed to convey. Like you are no longer the same. You cannot be that person anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's just reinforcing what Nat said early on, which is that writers don't know what they're doing.
They don't know
Because
what they're doing.
when you
don't.
adapt a book or a game or anything to another form of media, you should be doing it over in a way. It is an alternate reality version of this in a different medium.
There are
You
limitations
shouldn't be trying
to
to
that,
match.
but yes.
You shouldn't be trying to match the moments in the book or in the game. You should be doing a movie version of it, doing a show version of it. Just don't do those things, because that's what bothers people. It should be so different but similar. It's like going from watching The Amazing Spider-Man to like, I don't know, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. It's like they're both Spider-Man, they're both enjoyable, but they're very different.
Yeah. I
Different-
truly think that they should have, one, recasted Ellie for the adult
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
2, they should have broken part 2 into 3 seasons. They should have done. I
Go
heavily
ahead,
think
continue. Yeah,
they
yeah.
should have done the first season up to Joel's death. That should have been the season finale of season 2. Then that should have, or it could have been the mid-season
have been
finale
2
and the
seasons.
flashbacks.
Could have been 2 seasons.
Could have been.
If
I'm
you-
just
I understand
saying,
what you're saying. Go ahead, continue. My bad. Go ahead.
they use the town season. They do it differently from the games. They essentially have a town season that covers the 5 years and Joel's death. And they could do it through flashbacks if they want to. The season finale could have been her and Dina leaving, right? And they could have had some flashbacks thrown in there in the town. They could have done Joel's death on like season 3, and it could have been abrupt, but then do the rest of the season telling the story of the town, getting to know Jesse, getting to know these important characters, building these ideas, these flashbacks, the Joel connections, and all of that, while getting used to the new Ellie in this safe space. Converting your mind into being like, new actress, but she's Ellie. I get where she came from.
That, yeah.
Right? Then the 2 seasons that won't have Joel, that have this new lead cast that you took a season to get used to, and it took a second. Now she gets to come into her own, just like Ellie does, to carry what is one of the most heartbreaking storylines ever done without her father figure, in a way that connects you over the course of 2 seasons of all the shit they have to cover. And now what you have, Anthony, is one of these guitar sequences per season, with the very final few
One
episodes doing the final one. And they're a season apart.
Did you just poop?
And it's wonderful.
I'm sorry, but I just found the actress that they should have used. No one else found it.
No, the actress they should have used is the girl who plays Abby, is the problem.
Like the voice actress? Oh, wait, that's not the same.
No, not the voice actress.
No.
So work for you guys?
Ashley Johnson could not play Ellie.
She
is Ellie, but she can't play Ellie.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's just because of who you've seen her play.
So funnily enough,
no, I know this because I know her from outside of the game. I've seen her in Critical Role. She doesn't look like Ellie. When you show the video game version of Ellie and you see Ashley Johnson, it's not the same.
Funnily enough, the actor who plays Abby, Caitlin Dever, looks and acts and does like her scenes as Abby exactly like the Ellie from the game. Yeah. Funnily enough, the Abby that plays in the show, when she does the Joel killing scene, she acts more like Ellie when she is in the basement scene than the Bella does doing Ellie. And Caitlin Dever is not Abby from the games. She doesn't play like Abby. She plays the game, she acts like Abby is
supposed to be a unit. I keep saying this. I keep saying this, and I will never come off this mountain. I'm sorry.
Caitlin, I stand by it. Caitlin Dever I agree with the internet as a whole, because this is a whole internet thing. Everybody has talked about this. They've done full breakdowns of how Caitlin Dever is playing Abby exactly like Ellie should be played. And how that works.
And we're just missing an Abby.
And you should have just taken Caitlin Dever.
She is.
But that's how Ellie is.
That's how Ellie is supposed to be.
Ellie is tiny. She is supposed to be like that. Caitlin Dever would do so great. And Abby's like 250 pounds pure muscle.
And it's supposed
6'5".
It's supposed to be the reason why it's supposed to be this like David and Goliath kind of like aspect.
That is part of the game. Like part of the game is the fact that Ellie is a weak, meek, strategic fighter, and Abby is a badass.
Dude,
right?
You know who would have been great for Abby?
Who would have been great?
Who might have had to dye her hair. I just saw a picture of her, but I can't remember her freaking name. Ronda
Rousey.
Ronda Rousey.
Dude, right?
Yeah, she would have been.
I
good.
could see
if
that.
she killed Joel, I'd be like,
that's fine.
If
she could like,
that's the problem. Ronda Rousey.
If she could act.
Yeah, she's a rough actress. She has, but she's rough. I actually think the better person for it, even though everybody hates her, is the girl from The Mandalorian. You would dye her hair.
Oh no, everybody hates her. No,
Everybody hates her, but I feel like
she'd be a perfect fit. But
exactly,
no.
exactly.
I don't think I've seen her in anything since.
She's
since
pretty much
Mando.
she's been outcast in like the acting.
Oh, that
community.
girl.
Yeah,
She's
yeah. She'd be
the one-
perfect.
she's all.
But
I
it's
like.
too bad that she's,
Yes. So I did want to say that like I think Eric's totally right about the recast thing, and in most cases people have never seen a good recast. No one would agree. But if you want to see a good recast, watch Superman and Lois, because it happens, and at first you have the same reaction you always have. You're like, why? No, I loved that guy.
and then
What,
you're
what
like,
happened
wait,
to him?
I love this guy.
Oh
more.
my god, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
they literally
I've
did a
seen it.
few episodes of transfer, and it's like, I mean, he
See,
could have been.
I
the
think
whole time.
everybody that doesn't like recast just needs to watch Doctor Who
Yeah, just get
Because-
used to it.
because like Doctor Who, every single time the Doctor switches, yes, it feels weird, it feels harsh, and that becomes part of the story, and you
Yeah.
still fall in love with the new Doctor and their quirks and their differences.
From
right.
the original Doctor that you possibly have started
Yes.
from, and
Whichever
it's always
one you
just building
started
off
with-
the archetype.
Yes, you obviously love the one that you started with more
Like,
than
I'm a David
all the
Tennant.
rest. Yeah, me too. I
Just
love
is.
David Tennant. But you know what? I fell in love with Matt Smith, and I fell in love with
Have you all seen the new one?
Peter Capaldi.
Played by Eric, or not Eric. He played Eric in Sex Education.
I haven't. I want to
No,
catch
I
up
haven't.
again with Doctor Who, but I've only watched up to Peter Capaldi's Doctor so far.
Peter Capaldi is really good.
Yeah, Peter Capaldi is just a great actor.
Yeah, true. Anyway, so to go ahead and get back to what you were saying, I don't think 3 seasons is what you need. I think you need 2 seasons. I think you need 1 season where you soften the blow of the shift of the character, but not the blow of losing Joel.
But wait, we're getting 2 seasons.
I don't know how you do it,
But we're getting 2
But you-
seasons, and
but
it's
you-
already not enough
but-
time.
but Eric, we already know right now, based on what we're seeing, that they don't know what they're doing. So let's go ahead and assume that somebody knows what they're doing, right?
I mean,
Let's remove the fact that what we have seen is not
So
canon.
what you're saying is 2 seasons was fine. The writers
think-
just need to be
I
kicked
think
out,
the
and we need new
writers-
writers.
well, think
dude,
That's
think
fair.
about it
That's
this way.
fair.
are you kidding
I'm
me?
not arguing that. I am
Okay.
just saying that I think with better writers, 3 seasons and a recast.
so
Eric, of course 3 seasons would be better. If we had godly directors and we had 3 seasons, we'd have a wonderful time. But that's not the situation we're in.
think about it this way. Okay, you take a book and you make a movie.
Yeah.
They're very similar things already.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, and it's always like, yeah, if you could do more, it would be better because you could get more of the book into the movie or the show, right? Now we have a video game. There's a huge difference between a video game and a movie or a book. You
Is there
are
Cyberpunk?
making decisions.
Is
You
there
are doing the
Punk Edge
thing.
Runners?
That was offshoot. It's not it's not trying to redo the entire game that you play. It's doing part
that's
of the
fair.
universe within the game,
That's
which is why it's
fair.
successful.
Yeah,
You're
I agree with
taking-
that.
That's
If a game is
hella
good,
fair.
If a game is good, why is it good? Well, there's an
Yeah.
involvement of the player
Yeah.
doing things. Now you want to do a 1-to-1 transition, it's guaranteed to be bad because part of the goodness has to
Yeah.
be in the fact that you were involved.
I
And
rescind my
that's why
statement.
I so
Yeah.
much more say that it needs a rewrite. You make
Yeah.
the same universe, the same idea, the same cosmere, if you will, but it's not the same timeline. It's a branching timeline or whatever you want to do. It's
you know
just
what is-
different.
You know what a good example of this is? And it's recently, like, actually, unfortunately, been announced that it's canceled. Wheel of Time.
Ha! That I can't get past how terrible the female
The-
writing and
the-
sexism is.
The 3rd season is really good, and
That's
like,
what I've heard.
and the writers.
That second season is rough, though.
it's really bad.
But the
the
book
third-
series doesn't get good until Brandon Sanderson
Don't
writes it.
don't read don't
The books
don't
are
read
rough.
don't read
Books
the
are rough.
books. Don't as
Well,
somebody
actually-
who read like
actually,
8 books. Don't read
the
the
first
books.
3 books are amazing. The middle 10
Eric,
books are absolute
Eric,
garbage. And then
Cope.
the last 3 books
Don't
are
do
really
this. Don't do this. It's time that you put into a hole that you'll never get back, and I understand that. We're in the same situation. The books were not that great.
Oh, I don't know about that. I do think that the first
how
book
old were
is
you
one
when
of
you
the
read the
best.
books?
I was 17. 16? 17. Yeah.
Have you
Okay,
read
Eric?
Have you read the first book recently?
Eric, how old were you?
I've reread it. I've reread the
No,
first
when you
book
first
like
read them,
5 or
how
6
old were you?
times.
God, how far am I into this?
I would have been like
I'm on
13,
page,
14.
352 right
Good.
now.
I need y'all to know.
Yeah.
It's important that y'all were so young and immature when you read those books, because that means that if you read them as a mature adult that understands potentially women, now if you read them, you might understand
It's-
how terrible they are and how sexist they are and how they're not
It-
actually able to
but
write women.
Anthony, those roles don't. Anthony, those roles don't get
It
really
is
leveraged in the first 3 books until like book 4 and onwards. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. The first book I would argue is one of the better openings to a fantasy epic that exists. Like they study
One of.
that in
Okay.
college.
Yeah, it's one of.
Like it is on the top shelf of like, if you like fantasy epics or you want to write fantasy epics, this is what you learn from.
Eric, I have a
Right.
question. Well, no, sorry, I have a statement to follow that. I feel like those same courses also say that Lord of the Rings is one of the greatest series to read, and I would honestly tell people to go ahead and skip the first like third of the first book.
I
of the Fellowship.
disagree entirely. And
Eric,
I have been
Eric,
convinced. No. I have been
understand.
convinced of this. No.
I understand.
I disagree.
And I've read it.
You
but-
cannot. So, there are 2 important characters that define the lore that gives the feeling to how the Lord of the Rings world is, that are introduced in the start of the Fellowship of the Ring, that give you a feeling in that story that does not exist until it doesn't exist after that. And that is oh my gosh, what's his name? The guy who leads them across the river of
Bombadil.
Ararin. No, Bombadil is one of them, but the other is Galgalad. No, gosh,
Not Galadriel. No.
not Galadriel. Oh, Lord in Fellowship.
Type. While he's typing,
It's so what's her name
fuck.
replaces him in
Liv Tyler's character.
yes.
Yeah.
It's not Arwen in the books. It's
Someone
Glorfindel.
else. Glorfindel.
Glorfindel. Because Glorfindel is telling them stories that shape how the world was.
Right.
It touches on things like the singers. It touches on things like the valor, right? Things that do not make sense once you get past that first part of the story, but are so important for making the world mystical. There is a reason that when the Balrog comes in to face Gandalf, it is so scary
Yeah.
because you know at that point
He's
in the
a
books
global level threat.
what
Yeah.
Gandalf is and why that's important.
Yeah.
When you understand who Gandalf actually is from the beginning of the Fellowship, which is there right in front of you, even if you don't understand what it fully is yet, when you figure out Tom Bombadil can play around with the ring,
Yeah.
you're like, whoa,
Whoa. Yeah.
Gandalf can't do that. And Gandalf is a literal angel of the Lord.
Let's be real though. Tom Bombadil is like kind of a character, kind of an author insert. Like he's got a woman that's like the most beautiful creature in all the land. He's just like a dude who lives in the forest, living his best life.
But he is the
But
difference.
also- yeah.
He is the metaphor for the wall between childhood and adulthood. Because you have
Yeah.
to remember the whole first quarter of the Fellowship of the Ring is the simile for Frodo and the entirety of the Hobbiton in the Shire, which is a simile for childhood and freedom,
It's boring.
but it's important
It's important for the book.
for
Okay,
the feeling of
let-
fantasy
let,
in the book.
Let me go ahead and put a bookmark on this piece because I feel like I have raised an issue that is not so much synonymous with the argument that we have against The Last of Us. I am not saying not with Wheel of Time. I am not saying that The Lord of the Rings is not one of the greatest pieces of literature in our time. I'm just saying there are parts of the book that bore this fucking shit out of me. It just is what it is. Like, I don't need to know the recipes. I don't need to know the songs. I
It
understand
was
the
written
songs
in a
are
different
important,
era. I agree.
and it's written for a certain time. I get it. Not
Yeah.
my thing.
I get that.
So
That's fair.
The
'Cause
reason
it is
why
it is
I
a
say
different
it, yeah.
era
The reason why I say it for
of
this
writing.
Wheel of Time series is because with the movies, we had the adaptation that was largely accepted as well done. Largely. I'm not saying that there's not issues.
With Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings were the
I'm not
best
s-
done movies depicting
I'm
a
not saying
high
that there's not
fantasy
issues.
book of all time.
Shut up. I'm not saying that there's not issues, okay? Take the look off your face, Eric. A lot of people like those those movies.
I don't know about season
Eric?
2.
Eric.
Are you talking about Lord of the Rings or
As a
something
whole,
else?
the Lord of the Rings books did very well.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I'm
And
talking
the
about the
movies.
movies. I'm talking about the movies.
The movies did amazing.
Yeah. When we talk about other renditions of this, when we talk about Wheel of Time, when they tried to do the TV thing, I feel like there was a bit of an issue that we're kind of seeing also with The Last of Us, in the sense that the directors were only able to do so much, or they just didn't have the capability to perform the way that they needed to.
I just
like-
don't understand how you guys and so many people can get past the 50s, 60s way of thinking about women
Okay,
and articulating
no,
them thing.
no,
Like,
no,
it's
no, no,
just-
no.
it's so
no,
bad.
No. Let me
Like,
let me make one thing
it's-
very clear.
it's
I did
so
not
bad.
finish The Wheel of Time. I did not. Let me first say that. Second,
We
of
couldn't
all-
get past the first 20 minutes of the show. We were
Second
like,
of all, this is
this
before I discovered Robert, not Robert Jordan. This is before I discovered.
now what I was saying earlier is that when y'all
his
read them
name?
when you were young, that's like completely reasonable, because as a young boy, as a young teenager, you have no idea necessarily that you've got this
think you
guy
do,
writing
though.
women.
I
Not
think
necessarily.
you do.
It depends on your upbringing.
Maybe I was different then, because I definitely clued into like book 4. I was like, wow, they're really talking about like everybody has a huge chest. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Robert Jordan was terrible at writing women. I think it is more that the world building and the story that he is trying to
Oh.
tell outside of that far supersedes, in my opinion, any of his chauvinistic bad writing.
On the other end of the spectrum, Ash apparently has finally gotten into the Stormlight archives and is
Yeah.
obsessed.
Amazing.
She
Welcome, sister.
right before we started the podcast, she was like,
Say the words.
wait, does Kaladin have a ex-girlfriend that we've never heard about? Like, what's happening? I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I try to find it in the Kindle, and it's like, oh, in part 4 of book 1, she's mentioned twice.
Yeah.
Oh, in part 4 of book 2, she's mentioned twice. Oh, in part 4 of book 3, she's mentioned a million times, and it's
She
like
gets mentioned a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
like, what do
remember
you-
her name, but yeah.
Tala or something. Tala.
Don't worry about it. It's
Um,
important for the scenes, but don't worry about it.
But yeah, apparently
Just
the ending of the ending of Wheel of Times is good because Brandon Sanderson.
Took
Well,
over like at
yeah.
the last book. Yeah.
I mean, the
Last
thing
two
is,
books,
is
right?
that in kind of the way that I have always seen it, even in my recent readings of it, is that the story that Robert Jordan was trying to tell is so
It's
phenomenal
solid. Yeah.
and so amazing, and the world that he built and the
Crazy.
political intricacies that he built were unbelievably detailed and amazing.
But he's a
His
grandpa view of women.
Yes, his writing style is not why I like the idea of the story, right? But the
I,
story itself is what I would love to one day get to the end of.
I
But
heard that Brandon Sanderson has like a team of 40 people behind his writing that he consults,
Yeah.
yeah,
which I was like, I think I've probably talked with you guys about that. That's how you should do it. Like if you want to write a female character, do it and then have 3 females tell you how you did and what you should
Yeah.
change because they
Yeah.
actually have the experience and you don't.
But that seems to be like a running theme in like writing now, where if anybody attempts to,
not everybody
No,
can afford it.
Yeah,
good,
not everyone can afford
like
it.
people who are doing like very nuanced books. Like I just finished reading the Buffalo Hunter, and the writer is Native American, but he also did research into the behaviors of people who were also buffalo hunters, and like folklore around that, and so on and so forth.
I feel like that
he did his due
nowadays
diligence.
writers just care more about how the reader is empathetically viewing what they are writing, where back in the day it was much more like H.P. Lovecraft or Robert Jordan, where they very specifically were like, no, I have a cool story and I'm going to write it
write it.
how I want to write it. And whoever doesn't like that is like,
suck
I
my
don't
butt.
care.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Like, I think
but-
people just put more thought nowadays into how somebody is reading it because they want to make the best story.
Well, it'll appeal to
possible.
more people too because
Yeah, 100%.
when you only write it from your perspective, guess what? If someone doesn't feel your perspective, even guys wise, like you're a dude writing, not all dudes are going to agree with you. So now you've got a subset of the populace
I
that's
mean,
actually going to.
that's just like H.P. Lovecraft's writing were super racist, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like stories are some of the most in-depth, detailed, crazy storytellings of cosmic horror, but every single bit of them has racist undertones. And it's like, yeah, no, like you can 100% say like H.P. Lovecraft, the guy, was just a
Closeted
racist
No.
asshole, but
No,
like,
not closeted. Sorry, was racist.
he was
Yeah.
not closeted at all.
I was like out front.
Like, not at all.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned not everyone can afford to do what Brandon Sanderson can, but like if me or any of you guys were about to try to write a book like Brandon Sanderson, all you got to do is reach out to your sisters or female friends and even male friends and be
Spread
like,
the
look,
letter.
if you read through this first book and you give me proper notes and changes and how you think I could rephrase things to make it better from a female perspective or from your perspective of this character, you get 1% or 0.5% of all that I make off of this book. And if that book makes, $10 million, you just made $500,000. Right?
I do
And people will
think
do
that
that.
works to a degree,
Mhm.
to some degree, but I do think there, in my head, there is still a difference in the level of scrutiny that someone will put into it when
Yeah.
you were like paying them as a full-time position to be like, no, I want you to be contrarian and challenge how I'm talking and thinking about these things.
Yeah. So
Versus
if you want to
having
be
somebody like,
if you want to be smarter about it, you go and try to find, people that are being educated right now, people that are in school, at college, getting like an English major, and you talk to them and get their input
Yes.
yes, peer review, Dash. That's 100% how we should do
of
it.
your literary description of breast peer reviewed.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's all you got to do.
Ash, is your smut peer reviewed? Is that what we're getting at?
Is your smut peer reviewed.
It better be. Teams.
It better be.
No.
You better put that smut away. Disgusting.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the Stormlight Archives is the first book I've ever read where I'm reading female characters that aren't depicted as grandma or my little girl, my child.
Bruh.
I will say I really.
Oh,
It's
sorry. Or
really
my
hard to
fantasy
beat.
girl that's in Playboy.
There
There's
it
three.
is.
There's the third one.
There it is.
That's the one that happens all the time.
And you haven't even read Mistborn yet.
No, I'm saying that's how most dudes write
Yeah,
their books
100%.
is a female character that's not attractive is grandma or daughter.
Vin,
like little girl.
Vin is like hard left in like maybe all but like one category.
Vin is a great character, though,
Yeah.
in general.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason that Mistborn is probably the most Hollywood adaptable
Book
book
slash
out of
series.
all of Brandon Sanderson's
Yeah.
stuff.
Is that the third one?
No, it's a totally different world in the Cosmere.
World. Yeah.
Mm.
I was gonna say universe, but I was like, nope. Same universe.
I think you'll really like that one
Different
too,
world.
but it's like a classic trilogy.
Oh, so my father-in-law
than-
has been collecting every British version of the Stormlight Archives, and it took
The
him a
art
while.
is so cool.
It took him a while, and for him, the writing is better because it is written in the UK language. So
Yeah.
like things make more sense to him, which is funny because it is, of course, American English is the original.
Yeah.
So they're literally transcribing it or what's the word when someone changes the language of something?
Translating.
They're literally translating it to British.
Eric's like-
British English.
Oh
Translate?
my god.
Yeah. Sorry, I could not
No, you're
remember
good,
that.
you're
at
Have
all.
I told y'all to read the Porson series?
I believe I have it in my
I-
to-read list.
Okay.
I'd like to.
It's another female character that's it's all female leads. It's really well done.
I'd like another
The-
chance to understand the secret books and why you're reading them.
See what?
Eric
Oh,
is reading the secret
secret novels.
novels
The secret
before he
novels?
reads the newest one, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
Wondering-
The reason
That's
why
the
is because
order-
they're the order that you're supposed to read it.
Yeah, you're supposed
After
to read
what
the secret
book?
novels
After the Rhythm of
everything.
War.
No, after everything except for Stormlight.
the
5.
newest book.
So the secret
for
novels
Lunar Fruit.
almost require every other book he has written in the Cosmere except
Oh.
for the fifth archive to understand them
Oh.
fully.
Understand the secret archives. Okay, so
Yes.
so like I'm okay doing the rest of the Stormlight Archives except for the last book, right? Doing 1, 2, 2.5, 3,
Read however you
3.5,
want,
etc.
Anthony. Read however you want.
No?
So do you want the real answer
Eric, just
or
let
the
him read.
No, I
Just
want the
let him-
real answer. I'm
just
already
let him
committed
read.
now.
Okay.
Nat,
Okay.
Okay.
I got one book. That's
Okay.
all it takes. Now you're
Okay.
in it.
Okay.
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 And I
So-
know because okay, so get this. My father-in-law read 1 and 2 and started getting pretty deep into 3, but then he was like, wait a second. Who is this person? And he learned,
So-
2.5 is kind of
it's
necessary
Springer.
for this character that shows up, and she's just like, I'm just a badass. And he's like, wait, who are you?
That?
So I
know.
need to go ahead and send you this. We're gonna just go over this in
Okay.
the podcast
Okay.
real quick, just so you have an idea here. Let me make sure.
Is
this
it, are
is
you
right.
sending the reading guide?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we're gonna go through some of this just a little,
Just a little, huh?
just a little,
You just mentioned the Cosmere and you said just a little. You lied.
just a little.
Oh, this is pretty.
So go ahead and click on the drop down
very
and
pretty.
go to reading order.
Wait,
Somebody
there's a
share
drop
this.
down.
Somebody share their screen.
Yeah,
Hold
in the
on.
top right.
Where do you see this drop down?
Oh,
You-
click on legend
Oh,
in the top
oh
right.
god. Oh no, guys, I lost you. I accidentally clicked on back. I'm back.
Okay. Click in the top right. There's a drop down for reading order, or legend. It says legend, and then you can do it. Yeah, everybody can go join
Legend.
us on the
Found
site.
the legend.
So
Okay.
right now you can actually see that none of the starting places for phase 1 are the Stormlight Archive.
Phase 1. How do you see phase 1?
So in the reading order section, you can click
There's a
that down
reading
and
order
see phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3.
Oh, yes. So phase 1 is highlighted. Okay.
So if you click on phase 2, you can now see that the Way of Kings,
Oh,
you can
okay, yeah.
see how some of the
Words of
phase 1 stuff gives you information subtly for the lost metal in the Way of Kings. So the Way of Kings is an unofficial starting spot only because none of the other books give you information for it straightforward. However, you can see that the Words of Radiance, book 2, has an orange line from Warbreaker.
Yep.
Wait. Is Words of Radiance blue?
Yes.
Yes.
Where is it?
If you clicked on reading order in order
Yeah,
by,
I've got phase 2 in there's an order by.
yes, do reading order, and you can kind of see it goes clockwise for like ideal kind of way to read it, broken up by phases. If you mouse over anything, it'll show you the information. Orange lines are subtle hints to give you information for that book. Red line essentially means that you are missing part of the story entirely if you don't read the other one first.
Okay, so Words of Radiance, if you read Warbreaker first, you have a
get more
better
out of it.
experience.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
But on 3, Oathbringer, you can notice there's a red line from Warbreaker and an orange line from the Hero of
You
Ages.
have to pick up something from Warbreaker.
And
It's
Warbreaker isn't in the Stormlight Archives.
No,
it is.
It is. No, it
But,
is not. It is
I mean,
in the Cosmere.
It is. The content is Cosmere.
Yes.
and-
All
But
of
it's
these
not
books
it's
are
not book
collect-
2.5.
No,
No, it is not.
Book 2.5 is something
The
different.
Warbreaker is an entirely separate story on a different
Exactly.
planet.
Oh, fuck.
Entirely.
Yep.
Okay. See, okay, first off, I would still argue that you should start people off with the Way of Kings and the Stormlight Archives if, like me, they absolutely enjoy rereadability. Okay? Because this site that you just showed me that the Cosmere is the ultimate rereadable thing in the world.
Yes.
If you just stumble
Yes.
through it,
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
have like a time of your life for the next like 20 years
Yes.
of being like, wait, okay, now I'm gonna go reread this. And then
That's
So
why
now-
he's the GOAT.
Now what I want you to do on this series to kind of just have some fun with it, we're going to do.
I see. Stormlight Archive is blue.
Go ahead in the reading
It's phase
order
2.
and click all of the phases, unpublished and apocryphal,
Okay.
right? So you have all of those clicked. Then click minor and Easter eggs in
Good
the
God.
connections.
Good God.
It gets crazy.
Okay?
There's a few books that aren't connected to anything. That's it. There's only 3.
And you have to
Yes.
enable spoilers to be able to view some of these.
Oh, yeah. No. I
Don't
don't want
enable
you.
that.
Do not press spoilers. However,
Enable
if you
spoilers.
press spoilers, those non-connected books will start having connections.
Oh my God. Of course.
So don't worry about that right there. But yes, it gets crazy.
Don't you worry.
So you can kind of see that I am reading the books I'm reading right now. If you have all the phases clicked in the top left corner, you should see Yumi and the Nightmare Painter,
Yeah.
Tress of the Emerald Sea, and the Sunlit Man. Go
Yeah.
ahead and mouse over those to see all of the information going to them.
That's so much.
Yes.
But how do you see what you should read before reading those?
I have read everything in the Cosmere except for those in the newest
Those
book.
3?
Yes. Yes. So that's why I am okay reading them. But if you go over to where is it?
Hoyd! Who the fuck is Hoyd? A Hoyd that has the king's wit. Oh,
You don't know Hoyd, Nat?
No, Ash in the chat.
Who the fuck is Hoyd?
Who the fuck is
Yeah,
Hoyd?
Ash, don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. Just
You
read.
don't need
You don't need to know who Hoyd
to
is.
know who Hoyd is yet. Also,
Hoyt is not an important character.
don't click that and then get really confused when all of the books on different planets have Hoyd.
Ash.
Oh
Assume
my
that
God, there's a Hoyd button.
There's
guys,
look.
you're
Oh
Don't
my
worry,
God.
Anthony.
Okay,
Don't
some of this is
worry about
spoiler.
who.
You have-
You gotta stop clicking on shit, guys. Don't worry about Hoyt. Don't worry
Don't
about
worry
it,
about
Ash.
See, Eric, this is why I was like, I don't know if you should show them this kind of resource because
No, I know
it
that for
intrinsically
Anthony.
is spoiler. It's
No, here's the
intrinsically
thing.
spoiler
For
content.
Anthony, this will light a fire, man. Because he, like he said, this just leads to such a wonderful rereadability experience. Because now he's gonna be like, he was fucking there the whole time, you know, like.
Yeah, see, like I don't care what order I go in, honestly, and I'm happy to jump around potentially and stuff like that, as long as it's somewhat decent order, because I will enjoy rereading it. I've already enjoyed rereading book one every time that Ash and I are driving somewhere, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you want to listen to whatever you're listening to right now?
Dude, book one is amazing. I've reread it multiple times and it never gets old. I would say for me, unclick the
intro
minor,
gets a little
unclick the
old.
Easter eggs, and I would say if you read it in an order where if you go to this site with just phase 1, 2, and 3 with major and significant, and just be like, oh, the next one is Oathbringer. Like book 3 is Oathbringer. Like you're gonna go and you're gonna say, oh, book 3 is Oathbringer. It has a red line from Warbreaker. Let me read Warbreaker real quick.
Yeah,
And
I like that.
like cool. There you go. And then you go to Rhythm of War and you're like, "Oh, it has red lines from like a few orange lines. You know what? Before I read Rhythm of War, maybe I'll actually go through and read The Hero of Ages and the two before that, you know? And then I'll be good, right? And like just go stumble through it. I would say if you read the red lines
they're
first,
directional. That's good.
yeah.
That's important.
Like the origin of the information to the
Yeah.
actual reference.
But I would say that if you read all of the red line orderings so that you never read a book without reading the red line first, you're going to be really happy regardless of the other orderings and orange lines. And the orange lines are cool enough and the minor and Easter eggs are cool enough that when you reread after reading other stuff, it is going to be really cool
I
to
needed
catch new
Horn-Eater.
information.
I'm so glad. I didn't know Horn-Eater was planned. I'm so glad they're doing that.
Yes, Horn-Eater is planned.
Horn eater. That
Don't
sounds
worry about
cool.
it. Don't worry
No, I
about
know what
it.
a horn
Don't
eater
worry.
is.
Okay.
I
okay.
just found out the origin of the horn eater's habitation, if you will,
Yep.
which is pretty neat, or at least, you know, a story. It's probably true.
Yeah.
It's definitely true.
If you want a really cool way of viewing this information that I like a little bit better, go to that top right order by and just do series.
Yeah.
That will ensure that if you're reading like a trilogy, you don't like read it. Like if you see a red line from something in a trilogy, you'll see very quickly that it's in a trilogy.
Yeah.
Instead of like accidentally being like, oh, let me read The Well of Ascension. And then The Well of Ascension is like book 2 in a trilogy. And you're like, oh,
Don't
wait
worry
a second.
about that. Yeah.
Your
yeah,
reading
yeah.
order is a little odd. Like, is it trying to say that in like
I
clockwise order is the
Yes.
ideal reading
Yes.
order of everything?
Yes.
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 Yes. That is what it is saying. If you read in clockwise order for the reading order, you guarantee that you will never run into a piece of information you did not know first.
Yeah.
So that is what is considered the most optimum way to read without having to reread.
Now,
I started at 7 o'clock.
You did, but that's okay. I started
That's
at 7
fine.
o'clock too.
That's okay. Anthony,
yeah.
I need to tell you something.
Yeah.
I have not read any of Mistborn's second of Mistborn. So that entire 2 o'clock that's on this clock, I have not read.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I have been able to keep up, though barely.
Well,
So
the good thing
it is
about that
possible
is that
if you like feel like you want to go ahead and go to something else, you can.
yeah.
But there are things that you will have to either do. You will either have to spoil
my
yourself outside of reading, or you will have to read the books out of order.
Yeah. The good thing
And,
is that the second era of Mistborn 2 is really setting up stuff for future, not.
like era 4 kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we has Brandon Sanderson set aside some DNA to clone himself? Because there's a lot unpublished.
He's
And
Yeah.
if
no
something
Anthony,
bad happens.
Anthony. This man is a machine. I'm so serious
He's
right
a
now.
machine. Yeah.
He is freakish. He puts out books as if they are like these small little novellas, and they're freaking monsters. I put out so rewind like 4 years ago, right, Eric? About 4 or 5 years ago, Secret Project novels.
Yeah. The secret novels were 2020.
2020, right? Rewind to this time. We hadn't seen a book from Brandon since I believe it was Rhythm of War.
2019. Yeah.
2019. He comes out of nowhere and says, "Oh, I'm gonna do a Kickstarter for a single book, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and do a crowdfunding because we're gonna go ahead and do this like as a community, go ahead and come together and make this book." He does the announcement video, and he says, I was having a really good time writing," and he puts down the transcript for the book that he was talking about. He says, "But I got really into it, so I did another," and he puts another transcript on top of the freaking book, and then another, and then another.
He literally was like, "Let me do a Kickstarter for one book," and then the opening paragraph of that was like, "Yeah, so I finished book 1, and I just kept going.
I just kept going.
Here's 3 other books. How do y'all feel about that?"
Oh my god.
It's the reason why it is is it still the #1 selling Kickstarter like ever?
Yeah, I think it might be.
He blew up the internet.
Yeah, he has the most crowdfunded novels of all time, for sure.
By handedly.
And he has, if not the top Kickstarter of all time, like number 2 or 3.
So Anthony, this guy's the GOAT. He is.
Dude.
This is like George
he's
R.
just a
R.
monster.
Who? Like this is
Yeah.
the dude. Like he will put out the book for you. Like you will see a book from him at least once a year.
When I went and talked to him live a few years ago, and I talked to him, he flat out told me there's like 36 years of planned releasing of books.
36, Anthony.
36 years of like straight just releasing books.
Just
inside of the Cosmere. We
and
have
like
that was
5 of them are bangers.
yeah, and that was by the way, that was 2019, so it's only been 6 years. We still have 30 more years of books in just this universe.
And he's still writing. He's come up with ideas since he's talked to Eric.
Yeah.
When's the HBO Max series come out?
So funnily enough, there are companies that actually own a few of his works and have publishing rights.
The licenses. Yeah.
The biggest one, the one that has the most movement behind it, is the Mistborn series.
Yeah.
That is the one that people want to do the most. It's his Hollywood story. It's his original bestseller. It's the thing that put him on the map. Everybody loves it. It is really easy to put it into a show or movie. It'd be really easy to do a Lord of the Rings like trilogy with it. The story is very Hollywood friendly. And it's just very good.
Just
so
finding the right person.
Yes. That is honestly the hardest part for him, has been finding a Vin and finding casting that works for those characters.
I still don't. Well, actually, I know who the Vin should be if it was based on actors right now.
You know what would be the smartest move in television?
What?
If Marvel made this their next big thing.
If who?
If Marvel just pulled out and did this.
Marvel is like, wait, we need to stop trying with this superhero stuff. Like, put that on the back burner. Let it do whatever it's going to do. Next up, all of Brendan Sanderson's everything.
Yeah.
Oh, like what? And just do like a visual novel representation of it along with the movies?
No, just do the Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's talking about like the Disney Marvel Studios.
They're too deep in their own crotch.
I'm saying,
if
like,
you catch my meaning.
Someone that commits to the entirety. You know, where they sign an actor and they're like, No. You want to act for this? We have you for 15 years.
Yeah.
You are doing this for 15 years, and a lot of actors don't like doing that. But it's like, well, then you're not going to be part of the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like that's a cool thing to be a part of.
Eric, it's Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
I think that's Finn.
Oh, is that?
I think that's Finn.
I think she's too old, unfortunately.
I mean, when she was younger, for sure. But like, I feel like that's the closest that you're gonna get. There's nobody who's doing like the younger version of her, who's gonna be able to pull it off.
Yeah. But the older version, I could see it because
Yeah.
she's supposed to have angular face. She's
Yep.
supposed to be sharp,
Yep.
crass. She should almost be playing like she does in Queen's Gambit, essentially.
Exactly.
I could 100% see that.
Yeah.
She's thin, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah,
I
You
would
know-
be down for that.
yeah.
It is a really good idea. I don't know if this is what you're thinking about, Nat.
Might be too tall.
But doing something so big in an animated way instead of with real life.
Man,
Because then, if you voice actors,
you
whatever.
you stepped on another bomb for me because I feel like there's so many people who are just like, oh yeah, this, live action that. You need to put some fucking respect on some of these animators, dude. Like Fortiche
Yeah.
came out and gave you Arcane, and you are still like there are still stories that
I
are
would-
not being told animated wise because
biggest-
they want it live action.
Yeah.
pull.
The biggest problem now is that no American company can afford to not do it like Arcane, which
Yeah.
is so expensive and time consuming, and there aren't big enough animation studios in the US to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Comparatively to like Japan that pushes out anime content so quickly because the studios are 15 times the size, right?
And we have such a market for
they're doing it.
for the opposition, though. We have like this huge market for live action representation of theatrics
Well, yeah,
within Western cinema.
But
So,
stuff like Arcane
it's
just
hard.
costs so much in America comparatively
yeah.
to Japan, where they can pay. They pay their animators less.
Arcane wasn't made in Japan though. It's Fortiche, French.
No. I that's what I'm saying. But
Oh,
like
okay,
that's
sorry.
a Western market pays like there's smaller animation studios that cost more, that take longer, that do less episodes per their time.
I see,
Japanese
I see.
animation studios, they run them to the wire, they pay them less, and they can get
Make
out
all
so
those
much more
episodes,
content,
yeah.
right? That's why animes have 24 episodes, 25 episodes, and Arcane will only ever do 8
tops.
episodes, it's like 40 minutes to an hour long. They spend 2 years on it, 4 years on it in some cases.
Take however long they want to take, bruh.
No.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree, but that's
Yeah.
like you got to
But
think
that's
about
the
like the
demand.
Mistborn series, right? The Mistborn series would need to be
A 4-year project.
longer
100.
than that, right?
I don't think it would take.
Or sorry,
longer
you
than
just
4
said
years.
Mistborn. I was thinking the
For an
whole
American
series.
studio, it would take longer, or a Western
American-
studio.
yes,
For
for
a
a Western
Japanese
studio,
studio,
it'd be
I think they could do 3 seasons and make it a fates. Like if you gave it to
Oh, if you get a UFO
the
table.
UFO table.
Oh my god, that'd be insane.
Dude, give Mistborn to UFO table and call it a day. They'll have that shit and they'll have
have
3
that shit by
seasons in a
Tuesday.
movie. They'll do 3 seasons and do the final big part as a
so
movie.
funny. That's so funny.
Man.
Have you
they'd-
seen
they'd
ufotable
rock it.
stuff, Anthony? Okay. Have you heard of
They're-
the Fate series? Okay. Have you seen
Haven't seen it.
You've probably seen the clips online. It's like this super impactful and very high resolution animation that is very synonymous with their name. Like if I show you an image of one of their main characters, you know exactly who they are.
let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, here we go.
So
Anthony, I just want you go ahead and mute this. Just look at the animation quality.
Yeah.
There's like no spoilers in this, but the animation quality is UFO Table. They're by far one of my. Oh wait, UFO Table does Demon Slayer.
Ufotable. Yeah.
Oh, UFO guys.
Yeah, it's ufotable. Sorry.
It's UFO table.
It's ufotable.
UFO.
Guys,
It's
it
ufotable.
says
It's
UFO.
I know what it says. It's ufotable. Just say it.
Yeah,
Don't.
unquotable.
No.
It's a fight.
But yeah, look. So this is them when they can do a movie, kind of like Demon Slayer. But yes, they do Demon Slayer.
What, Heaven's Feel?
Yes, Heaven's Feel
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, those fights are insane.
Dude, they're just
So,
crazy.
I
Yeah.
do wonder if it would save time and recasting and stuff like that if people would semi-animate. Okay, and by that I mean use a lot of mocap to do a majority of the animations.
Oh, I see what you mean. So you can age them up or down if you
Yeah,
need
and
to.
you can have different actors do the same person. They're
I
just
think you're
doing the
asking
physical.
for them to develop a skill set that they may not have because now they have to go ahead and play an older version of the same
I
character.
think that's also one of those things that is really cheap to get 90% of the way, but the tech right now is so new that the people doing it that last 10% are charging way, way more, and it's still super expensive to
It's
get
still
that
Wild West for
last
some
little
people.
piece
Yeah.
of really, really good content.
Still Wild Wild West.
unfortunate.
But I think at some point, yeah, that could
So,
probably be an
yeah.
answer too. But
What a tangent, guys!
yeah,
Guys,
Yeah.
I play Claire Obscure.
Yes.
It's great.
Dude, I know. I just felt bad because I knew you wouldn't be able to talk about it too much
Yeah,
because
I can't,
still want to play so much of that game, and I just
It's really great.
have not had the time to do it yet. But man, that game has been amazing so far. I also want to play that game. Yeah.
It's good, but fuck, it's crushing.
Yeah.
It's apparently Jason just finished. He was like, dude, I nearly 100%ed it, no notes, 10 out of 10.
Dude.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
I mean, already I know it's going to be a 10 out of 10 style game, so
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
But yeah, that was my thing, guys. Well done, guys. Well done.
Yeah.
GG.
Well done. Another wonderful episode of the Taphaven Podcast. With that, I guess we'll catch you in the next episode. We'll have a Discord thing. Catch out the Discord. We'll have
Oh yeah.
the whiskeys that we're trying out there. Yeah. Check us out on YouTube. All the episodes are up there. Like, subscribe, do all the things. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Peace.
Later, nerds.